the dynamic like? So obviously for me, when you guys stepped onto the scene, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a RHONY turn.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous because I had watched the OGs on my TV for so long, gone back to Peacock or Hulu when Housewives was on Hulu, and watched the most throwback episodes. So like the OG cast was in, I think, everyone's mind. I'll just speak for myself right now. And I was like, a whole new cast.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. In fact, I actively told myself I can't cheat on my OGs.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously I caved.
Yeah.
Like day of. I didn't even have to wait. It was like, it's on tonight. I'm watching. And immediately fell in love with actually all of you guys. There wasn't one person who I was like, this feels forced.
Yeah.
There were so many natural, like for me, it felt like you guys had been on camera for 100 years.
Really?
Yes. How did it feel for you?
It was awkward. It was weird. I mean, I got it it came to me so haphazardly. I just had wrapped up at a tech company here in Culver City, actually. I was coming back and forth to New York. I was like, okay, I'm in a position where I can take a year off from work for the first time in my life, and I'm just going to like travel and chill. The economy was about to tank. So I was like, okay, I'll start looking in spring for a new job. And I was in south of France, and I get this DM from a casting company, and it's like, they're like, hey, we're at the Real Housewives of New York. We'd like to talk to you. And I thought it was like a scam, like a crypto scam or one of those things. I'm like, okay, sure, you know? Because they like went to my spam because I was on private. I had like 3,000 followers or something. I was like, what is this? And then there was a couple more messages. And then my friend, Savannah, she messaged me. She's like, dumbass. She's from the Delta, but she lives in New York. She's hilarious. She's like, dumbass. They're trying to contact you for the Housewives. And I was like, what? Like, I'm not some like rich Mrs. Bloomberg or something, that's like bored. Like, what do they want with me? So I did a few interviews. All of mine were Zooms. I did 3. Yeah, no, it was like 2 or 3. No, 3 Zooms.
Did you have to dress up in a gown in one of them?
No. But they did say like, oh, can you just like set up the camera so we can like kind of see some of your apartment? But I've obviously watched. So I was like, oh, I got this. And I have like a decor and whatever. So I like put the thing and like I'm in marketing. I was like, I'll just make it look, this will be funny. But each time I didn't think I did it because I was like, oh, this is going to be very funny to tell people like, oh, do you know that I interviewed Housewives? And like, here's how it went down, And I thought that I'd meet Andy, but I didn't even interview with Andy. Everyone else had to. I didn't. And,
really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't even go into 30 Rock. It was all via. I give good Zoom.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's rare. Not many people do. The moment I see Zoom, I'm like, you got to get me in the room. I do my best work in the room.
And I remember at one point, too, they were asking me, so what do guys like dating? And they're like, what do guys like tell you? Is there any sort of like theme you always see? I was like, I don't know. This summer, every guy that I meet is always like, you remind me a lot of Alexis from Schitt's Creek. Because my stories are always like, well, one time I was on a boat with Leo, and then we were like smoking cigarettes, and he told me I was pretty. Like I have the most random, like, and then I got kidnapped by the North Korean army. Like I have like random, I have the crazy shit that's happening. People think I'm always fucking lying embellishment. I'm like, no, I dilute my stories to make them not sound so crazy and fancy. But a lot of men were telling me that I remind them of Alexis, and so they laugh. And then I was like, and I love the song a little bit, Alexis.
It's so good.
I know the routine.
I'm a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I start doing the routine in my Zoom interview for Housewives. I was like, I'm a Lamborghini on a huge jet. I'm single, even though I'm not. I was like, just a little bit, la, 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 a little bit Alexis. I did the whole thing. And literally they were just like, can you start tomorrow? And I was no, they didn't say that. They called me the next day, though. But I was like, yeah,
so
sure.
funny.
And then I thought it when I got it, I was like, okay, but I still can't do this. This is crazy. And then you read the contracts, and you're like, because technically you do, it's like a typical video. It's like if someone has to sign a video release form anywhere, if you're filming Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it reads intense, even though it actually turns out that it's not. But I'm sitting there at the contract, I'm like, am I really going to do this? Am I going to do this? And I was like, fuck it. Like, who cares? And if it blows up my face, because I love the old women too, not old, but like the original, the OGs. Right. 1 through 4, I own on my TV. I still rewatch it all the time. I think it's fucking hilarious. But I just thought, but you know what I kept thinking? I was like, I've worked in this industry for a long time. NBC, and this still like gives me hope. NBC, when you have a company like NBC, Universal, or Bravo, they're so big, they're not going to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I've always felt with working with my large CPGs like Johnson & Johnson and Unilever. You always have the backing of like, is this good idea? Is this going to work? Or like, they kind of can't fuck up. I'm sure they all have.
And what they touch turns to gold.
Yeah.
It's just they have an eye for it, and something that like I don't have that gift. I don't have the gift of being like, this is going to translate perfect on TV and then putting people together.
And
did they ask you? Like, do you have any friends? Or did they have like the lineup of chicks that they were meeting
I
with?
knew Jessel, and I knew Sai from working with her, and I knew Uba from seeing her a few times. But I knew of Jenna. I didn't know Erin. And so no, it's just like when they were putting it together, it's crazy. As we're filming, and you get so close because you're filming every day, and I mean 90% of the stuff that we film they don't show. But we realized there's so many times, even to this day, we sit back when we're all in a good mood and not fighting with each other. We're like, they're fucking geniuses. Because like all the things, like how we each had lost our mom. Like when we start filming, I had just lost Mimi, but I was like deep in grief. It was like 18 months. Sai had lost her mom that summer. Jenna had lost her mom like 3 or 6 weeks before, 3 weeks before we started filming. Uba, also very close to her mother, had lost her mother 12 years prior. Erin's relationship with her mother, and then Jessel's mother relationship, there's that lovely. So it's like we all have these maternal mom stories and bonds, but there's like 30 things like that we all share. So like but it all came out like slowly, and it's just they're literally like geniuses. They're
geniuses.
Yeah, they're geniuses.
Yeah, and watching you guys, it feels like such an organic fit. And I actually really enjoy, for the most part, when women on the show get together. I'm like, bitches, start like ripping each other's heads off. Like I'm ready for that to happen now.
Yeah.
You guys, I actually like when you have those bonding moments.
Yeah.
I was living for Uba, and I know you guys just filmed the reunion.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get you in trouble. I certainly get in trouble every other day by Bravo, so I'm going to watch my mouth as well. How did that go?
I like getting in trouble, but then I just tell them, I'm like, yeah, but I like getting spanked. And they're like, oh, Brynn.
I'm going to start using that. And they're going to be like, well, we can tell you've been around Brynn. And it only works for her, bitch.
No, and then they laugh, then they forget that they're supposed to yell at me. Wait, your question was, what about?
Was the reunion... Was it intense?
So the reunion, I mean, when I went in there thinking, honestly, leading up to it, I was so nervous. And I was like, I felt like I was going to like a funeral, like a family funeral, like half the family didn't like each other or something. I was really, really nervous going into it. Like physically kind of sick. And like, I had anxiety the days leading up to it. And again, I had this like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm a grown ass woman. Why am I signing up to go sit in a fucking dress and in a studio and talk about, I was like, this is like, I'm a sane person. This is dumb. So going into it, look, I was sober the whole time, even the entire time. I was like, can I please have a drink? Can I please have some mushrooms? I was like begging.
Mushrooms?
Yeah. I turned to Andy. I was like, can you just microdose me? He's like, I can't. I can't do that. And I was like, oh, come on, just like a little bit. You know, just a little bit. You know, I'm talking we're at work. But like, you know, but it was, for me, it was easy. I enjoyed it. At the end of it, too, I start every time that after we're done filming, especially on the trips, and the crew would laugh, like I would do this thing where I rip off my mic and I just start going, fuck, cock, balls, dick. And I run around like Kevin from Home Alone. And I'm like, ah! And I'm like, you can't get me now. Fuck, cock, balls. Like, you know, because my mic's off. For some reason, they take the mic off. It's like an adrenaline rush, you know, because I am kind of in the back of my mind. I'm aware of it. But no, I had a great time. And I was like, was that it? That was it?
Did everyone else go toes?
No. A couple of people exited through the gift shop immediately. And then there was like shit going down on the group text of like.
Oh, you got a group text going?
We have a group text. I think people would prefer if we didn't have a group text. Yeah. And the group text has been the past couple of weeks. There's been some people have been like, fuck. Like, and the group text has never been bad. It's always been like we band together, we share pictures, we share funny shit. But the group text in the past 2 weeks has been like, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch. Like
because you guys have seen the whole season now.
We've seen the whole season.
How many weeks do we have left?
I think 3 more. 3 more of the regular season. This is episode 11. There's 14 episodes. So we have three more regular episodes and then 2 reunion episodes.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's been more. Look, we all cried a lot. We did yell, but again, I was pretty like I got a lot of apologies.
Really?
Yeah, people being like I think now people, when they know me and they know that actually I'm harmless and I'm silly, like everyone enjoys me and loves me for exactly what I am. And they get me now, but I think during last year they were like, what is this bitch doing? And not understanding that 99% of the shit that comes out of my mouth, a joke. I speak in innuendos. Like a Vanity Fair artist, she only seems to speak in innuendos. Like I speak in innuendos, or I just in metaphors and analogies, and like, and I think so. Me, I had a good old time. I had a lot of time with Andy. I think I asked him a couple times if I could like smack him around a bit,
and he was like, absolutely.
Maybe. It was just fun.
Yeah.
I just
grab my necktie.
Yeah,
I
just had fun. But like, I think a couple of the gals, yeah, they definitely didn't. So it was tough for some people.
Uba hitting 100 in Anguilla.
What do you think? What did you think about it?
Well, I'd be pissed if someone took my phone because I get super annoyed by things like that.
Yeah.
The fact that Aaron, my natural reaction is not to get physical, right? That's not
how I was raised too. I was raised to use your words.
Your words.
You
like,
use your words.
I can cut deep as a knife.
Me too. Same. Yeah.
However, if someone snatched something off of my face, I think I would see red and I'd start swinging.
Yeah.
So I respected Erin in that regard, but Erin, and I like her. I like all of you guys actually. But watching this, it was like, I'm trying to.
I think it's like, don't start none, there won't be none.
Right. Like you keep talking shit about everybody behind their back.
Yeah.
Then you're like twisting things around and then you're crying in the corner. No.
Yeah.
You're a grown ass woman. You fucked around. Everyone's now spoken. You're a common denominator.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it and you don't get to cry about it.
Yeah. And you fuck around and you find out. I feel like with that too, look, I always tell her, like, leave the jokes to me. Like, I'm the prankster, I'm the jokes. Like, I just think that, honestly, I'm still to this day, and it's funny, and just as of this morning, I was on the phone with Uba. We're going still back and forth about this because every episode that comes out, it's like she rewatches it, she relives it, and she gets all worked up all over again.
Oh.
So there was a lot of text again today. Like, when the text is so long it goes to notes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was
Wait,
like.
No.
Oh my
No,
I've
that's
never
like
had that.
crazy long.
Oh,
It's like
that's
iCloud.
when,
That's like essay.
Yeah, and that's how it went today too. And and it's just how I feel about that. Okay, so I feel like I think it was a dumbass joke, and I think it like wasn't funny, which to me that's the most insulting thing because I like humor. I'm like that's not funny.
What was the joke?
No, the joke was I'm gonna steal your phone as a prank. That's not a prank. A prank is like I bought a goat and tied it upside my friend's house in the Hamptons. That's a prank because you can't get rid of a goat in the Hamptons. It's really hard. They're like. Yeah, the animal control is like, why is there a goat here? And you're like, how did it get behind your gates? And then they get in trouble. So that's that's a prank. Taking somebody's phone is not like a prank, and then
It's just annoying.
yeah, it's annoying. I think if she had done it to me, I'd be like, dude, you're fucking lame. Like, don't fucking do that again. I'd be irritated with her. I don't think I would go again. So that I was like with Aaron. Then, and I experienced this, so this is literally how I'm going. First, I was like, okay, Aaron, you're being fucking dumb, and I sided with Uba, and then, but then when Uba grabbed the glasses, that's when I started to get like, because again, I was raised, you don't get physical. And then personally, too, we're all like New Yorkers, so it's like, that's called personal property. Like, okay, I'm just going to call my lawyer, and then we can figure it out that way. Like, we're very, like, that's technically, like, we get all legal and legalese and whatever.
I would thrive in New York.
Yeah, you
Oh
would.
my God, you would. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
would.
you
Yeah,
would.
everything, yes. So I didn't like that, but then then Aaron gets really upset, and it's kind of like, okay. But then it just went back and forth, and that to experience that, you guys, it was like 10 fucking hours of them fighting.
Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I will catch you next week.